Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the Cardano family. Appreciate all the love. Let's get right in today's update and really understand what's happening with ADA's price as of October 15th and what we could be expecting as we are obviously going further into the week. So as far as October 15th is concerned, we're seeing quite a bit of retracement once again with the broader market, and it kind of goes back to, what we've been discussing, how we could see some choppy levels for Bitcoin. And as far as the tariff conversation is concerned, we could still see here back and forth. And today, again, we have heard, Donald Trump coming and talking about the tariff, which has dragged the broader market down once again. As far as ADA is concerned, down about 3.2%, with the price currently sitting at 67 cents right now. We're down about 2% in Bitcoin compared to valuation $24.4 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume for Cardano is currently sitting at about 1.4 billion. As always, you guys know anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in crypto. And also, one thing I want you guys to do is please follow me on X, link in the description box below. But if you're looking at the dominance here, let's obviously take a look at the dominance on an hourly perspective and see what has happened. So again, ranging sideways, right? For the dominance itself, we came once again down to 59%, and you can see picked up once again back up to 59.75%. So again, it's seeing quite a big, sharp sideways, movement for the dominance itself, and we can clearly see that happening here for us. Again, goes back to what I said, keep an eye out on Bitcoin and how I've been talking to you guys about, again, the chances of us retesting the 23.6 is still on the table and potentially even breaking below here. So you can see, the price of Bitcoin was actually sitting at 113,500 starting today. But then, of course, like I said, Donald Trump came out and talked once again about tariffs. And you can see what kind of reaction that has had on the price of Bitcoin. We're looking at a retracement of about 3% for Bitcoin just today alone. And again, that is not a small move, right? And dominance in return has also picked up, which of course sums it up as to why we're seeing so much red across the board right now as recording this update. But with that being said, could we potentially see a retest once again in the 23.6? Absolutely. And obviously breaking below here, like I said, opens the door for us to retest $108,000, potentially making our way down to 107. So again, it's been about 5 days since the major liquidation that we did see. But if you did watch those videos of mine, I did say still, we should expect some sort of choppy levels, market to see a flush again, and that's exactly what we're seeing happening. And again, we are still seeing conversations in regards to these tariffs happening, and you could really see how that has reacted the market. And again, I do think market overall has matured itself, but again, that does not mean market makers are not going to step in and manipulate the markets. But if you're looking at ADA, let's obviously give it a refresh live and see where ADA is currently sitting. So of course, yesterday we spoke about how Cardano's price was able to make its way back into the 78.6 Fibonacci retracement level. We actually came up to 71.7 cents, which is very impressive. But again, we are breaking below that level once again, and we actually broke below, where we were yesterday at the support line. And right now, we came down to 65.6%. And again, if you want to put this into perspective, since yesterday, a retracement of about 8% for Cardano, you can see for yourself. That is quite a sharp pullback. But again, if you are looking closely at the dominance, you're going to see the Cardano price replicating, the dominance, price action quite strongly. And you can see for yourself, very similar, chart itself, with the swings that we're seeing within the dominance. Again, ADA has been showing strength. Again, with the market conditions, it still has been showing very nice strength. But with that being said, you still want to be keeping a very close eye on Bitcoin. Like I said, if Bitcoin drops below the 23.6, some of these levels need to be retested. Once again, see a little bit more flush, choppy levels before we continue to head towards the upside. Remember, there is a CME gap at around $93,000 for Bitcoin. Is that going to close? Again, are we about to see Bitcoin price drop below $100,000 for the first time in about, let's actually take a look exactly. Bitcoin price has not dropped below $100,000 since May of this year, or April, late April. So that would be quite something. But if you want to put this into perspective, the CME gap is around $93,000 from last time I checked. That would be a 16% pullback. Is that going to close? That would be a significant pullback, but CME gaps not necessarily always fill. There was one here this flush, closed that. But we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated. But I do still believe that Bitcoin could drop below the 23.6 and retest the $107,000, and obviously breaking below here could take us back down slowly but surely to the wick that we did see for ourselves. So is this what is planned? We'll see what happens. That's why want to take it one step at a time, and of course that is going to have an impact on Cardano's price. Obviously, a lot of people ask the question whether or not, if that were to happen, if Bitcoin were to retest $102,000 and fill the wick, is Cardano possible to get back down to 26 cents? I want you guys to understand that itself is a move of 60%. Bitcoin needs to fall sharply in like right away for it to be a significant move for a lot of altcoins. If not, if it's a gradual pullback, I still don't think Cardano will retest this, nor a lot of altcoins. That was a instant type of reaction. And unless we see a complete replication of what we saw, I don't see a lot of these altcoins filling the wick. But that does not mean they cannot go towards the downside, maybe retesting some of these lower levels that could still be in play. We got to take it one step at a time. Obviously right now we're still nowhere near our confirmation yet. That's why I still am taking a look at Bitcoin around these levels. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. We'll see you later from Crypto ZX, and peace out.